Ever feel like you're just drowning in information? Searching for those golden nuggets of insight but getting lost?
Yeah, there's so much out there.
Well, you found your shortcut.
Mhm.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into something really practical and exciting. Setting up entrepreneurial projects in refrigeration and air conditioning. This session is crafted specifically for you.
Exactly. We've gone through a pretty detailed training unit on launching these kinds of businesses, and we also have a fantastic real-world success story, an entrepreneur who's actually done it.
Right, so it's that blend of the theory and the lived experience.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission here is to pull out those key takeaways, maybe share some surprising bits, and give you genuinely actionable insights so you can really see what it takes to build something successful in this field.
Sounds good.
Okay, so when we talk about refrigeration and air conditioning
Yeah.
businesses, it's easy to just picture one thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But our sources show it's actually, well, a much broader landscape.
Yeah.
Let's unpack the different categories.
Okay, so our sources really break down the types of projects suitable here. First, you've got commercial projects. These are, focused entirely on profit, selling goods or services.
Like buying an AC unit and selling it on.
Exactly. Buying from an agent or distributor maybe,
Yeah.
and then selling it to the final consumer. Maybe from a showroom,
Yeah.
that classic retail model.
Okay, direct sales.
Yeah.
Getting units into homes, businesses. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes beyond just retail, doesn't it? This industry.
Oh, absolutely. Then you have industrial projects. These are all about actually manufacturing the physical goods.
Ah, so building this stuff.
Right. Think bigger scale here, like the Al Ajlan AC factory making central and desert units, or Al Waha doing heating and AC. This is where the equipment gets made.
A very different kind of business from just selling them.
Totally different.
And what about the hands-on side, the practical stuff?
Yeah, that brings us to service projects. This is probably what a lot of people think of first, providing services directly to customers. So AC maintenance, cleaning, refilling Freon, installing devices, all that.
Keeping the systems running.
Exactly. It's about keeping everything working smoothly.
Okay, the essential care. And this last one, this might be quite eye-opening for you, especially thinking about how modern this field can be.
Yes, precisely. We also have digital projects.
Digital. In AC and refrigeration.
Yep. Designing, developing apps, digital content, e-commerce solutions. The source even gives examples like AC remote apps, remote AC universal, Zaza remote, things like that.
Wow. That's a modern twist I wouldn't have immediately thought of.
It really is.
So what does this mean for you listening? It means the cooling sector isn't just hardware anymore, not by a long shot. It fully embraces digital solutions now. That opens up whole new avenues you might not have considered, from making the machines to building the apps for them.
And that's actually a perfect segue, because what's really fascinating is how fundamental the legal entity you choose is. It affects, well, everything. Capital, liability. It's way more than just a name.
Absolutely critical. So let's break down these different legal entities for refrigeration and AC projects based on our sources. First up, there's freelance work.
Right.
Our source describes this as basically a document from the Ministry of Human Resources and Social Development. It lets individuals register for activities and work independently.
Yeah, it's like a formal way to be self-employed. A good starting point for many, maybe less complex than a full company initially.
Okay, so that's one option.
Yeah.
Then maybe a step up in formality is the individual establishment, sole proprietorship.
That's right. This system lets one person operate a commercial business alone. No partners. The founder is totally responsible. Management, profits, losses, it's all on them. And their personal money is a business's capital, legally speaking.
So it really is all on you.
It is.
And beyond these individual setups, there are actual company structures. Our sources mention quite a few.
Yeah, there's a range. We probably can't go deep into every single one today, but the key thing for you to know is they vary a lot. Things like liability, how much capital you need, partner involvement. It all changes depending on the structure.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Like a solidarity company, that's a partnership, often means shared, potentially unlimited liability. Everyone's on the hook. Whereas a simplified joint stock company usually limits your liability to just what you've invested.
Okay, big difference there.
Huge difference. And the list also includes things like individual company, simple recommendation company, and even one for foreign entities setting up under an investment license. The main takeaway. Your choice here really shapes your risk and how you operate, fundamentally.
Yeah, that is a lot of options. And it brings up a really important question for you.
Mhm.
How do you actually, set these up? Where do you find the specific rules?
Good question. To navigate that setup process and find those regulations, the sources really point towards resources like the Saudi Center for Entrepreneurship, business.say. That's a great starting point.
Okay, business.sa.
But here's a key insight for you, especially in a field like this. Specialized industries often have their own specific regulators. So, for example, if you're setting up a factory, you'll need to follow MODON regulations. That's modon.gov.say. They handle industrial development.
MODON for factories. Got it.
And for maintenance workshops, the rules are often on the ISTITLA platform, sitla.ncc.gov.say. It's a specific government portal.
Is STITLA for workshops?
Right. The point isn't to memorize URLs, but to realize that this kind of detailed research into the specific rules for your type of business, it's absolutely foundational. Make or break, really.
Okay, meticulous research is non-negotiable. Now, let's shift gears slightly. Let's talk about the rules of engagement, the legal, ethical, and professional stuff you have to meet. Once you've picked your business type, it's not just what you do, but how and where. These details are critical.
Absolutely crucial. And our source material gets incredibly specific on the legal requirements, particularly the site-specific conditions, your actual premises.
Okay, what kind of things?
Well, you need written approval from the submunicipality, a civil defense license, a commitment not to use it as a residence. That's a big one.
Right. Keep work and home separate.
Exactly. The space itself needs to be at least 30 square meters. It has to be licensed for maintenance and commercial activities. Oh, and no back doors.
No back doors.
Yeah.
Interesting detail.
Yeah. And you need to respect neighbors. No loud noises or vibrations. Practically speaking, you need non-slip ceramic floors that can handle industrial cleaners. Dedicated water drainage connected properly.
Wow.
And of course, a clear sign with your business name, minimum 1 by 2 meters.
That is a lot of detail just for the physical place.
It really shows how regulated the sector is. And the insight for you, success isn't just technical skill, it's nailing this detailed regulatory stuff.
Definitely. So, beyond the site itself, any more general operational rules?
Yes, there are general conditions too, following Ministry of Interior rules on working hours, for instance, and importantly, sticking only to the activities you're actually licensed for within those premises, operating strictly within the legal lines.
Okay, clear boundaries. It's obvious the paperwork and physical setup are intense, but our source also really emphasizes the entrepreneur's character. It's not just about rules, is it? It's about trust, reputation.
Very much so. These ethical requirements are presented as just as foundational. First, lawful earnings, making sure all your income is permissible, avoiding, usury, lying, deception, basic integrity.
Absolutely fundamental.
Then sincerity in word and deed. This means actually delivering services that meet the technical standards and safety measures you agreed to, genuinely doing what you promised.
No cutting corners on quality or safety. That seems paramount.
It is. Next is honesty in word and deed. Don't exaggerate claims, don't hide important info, and definitely don't exploit a customer just because they don't know as much as you. Transparency.
Transparency. Makes sense. What else?
And finally, something I found quite refreshing. Cheerfulness and good speech.
Oh.
Yeah, treating customers, employees, everyone with a pleasant attitude and good communication. The source even says a smile is charity. It highlights that human element.
That's a great point. Treat people well. Okay, so we have the legal rules, the ethical code. What about the professional qualifications, the actual skills needed?
Right, the professional requirements. The source is clear here. You need a specialized certificate in refrigeration and AC.
Okay, proof of training.
Yep. And also a documented experience certificate. At least 6 months working in a refrigeration and AC business.
6 months minimum experience.
And critically, any technician actually working at your place must be accredited by the Saudi Council of Engineers.
Saudi Council of Engineers accreditation.
Okay. It ensures a baseline competence, vital for safety and trust.
Absolutely. So we've mapped the landscape, looked at the rules, but what if you're still at square one? Just that initial spark of an idea. Our sources give a great roadmap for identifying, selecting, and really testing that idea.
Yeah, they lay out several good places to find entrepreneurial ideas in this field. The classic one, of course, is need is the mother of invention. So actively looking for unmet needs, whether it's individuals, businesses, even government needs.
Finding problems to solve.
Exactly. You can also leverage your own hobbies, your passions, or more practically, imitating imports.
Imitating imports. How does that work?
Basically, researching products that are successful elsewhere and figuring out how to adapt them for your local market.
Ah, Okay. Adapting existing successes.
Right. And naturally, your own background, your field of study, your work experience, that's often a super strong starting point.
Using what you already know. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Are there other, maybe less obvious sources for ideas?
Definitely. Sometimes a final year project, like a graduation project, can actually turn into a business.
Yeah.
Talking and brainstorming with family, friends that can be surprisingly fruitful.
Getting outside perspectives.
Yeah, or it could be continuing a family business, maybe taking it online, like marketing your dad's products, even adopting a brand new invention. Or just, really listening online, analyzing comments, tracking problems people complain about, things they wish they had, that can reveal huge opportunities.
That C.J. Walker quote comes to mind. I had to create my own opportunity. I go out and make them. It really fits here.
It does.
So once you've got that spark, that idea,
Yeah.
how do you actually refine it? Make it, well, real.
Our source outlines 5 key stages for studying and evaluating an idea. It starts, naturally, with idea generation. That's just coming up with new creative solutions, brainstorming.
The raw ideas.
Exactly. Then comes preparation. This is where you dig in. Research, gather info, analyze it, form a clear concept. What will this program or service actually be?
Okay, fleshing it out.
Yeah.
And then there's a stage that sounds quieter.
Yes, that's idea incubation. You kind of let the idea sit and mature. It might feel like nothing's happening on the surface, but your subconscious is often working on it.
Letting it simmer.
Pretty much. And that often leads to mental illumination, the eureka moment.
The light bulb.
Right, where things suddenly click, connect, and a potential solution pops into your head.
Love those moments. But after that flash of insight, what's the final crucial step?
Verification. This is the reality check. You rigorously reevaluate the idea. Is it actually correct? Is it viable? This stage decides if it becomes a real innovation, needs more refinement, or maybe needs to be scrapped. It stops you chasing bad ideas.
That's vital. Nelson Mandela said, "Vision without execution is merely a hallucination. Vision and execution together can change the world." Our source echoes that too, warning about getting caught up in the shiny surface of an idea instead of its real core.
Exactly. It's easy to fall for the hype, not the substance.
So how do you keep that focus on the substance?
Well, the source mentions the business model application briefly, but it's interesting. It's described as a tool to get that eagle's eye view of your whole venture. It covers 9 integrated parts, ideally on one page, so you see everything together, helps turn that vision to a concise, actionable plan.
One-page snapshot. Useful. And to really bring all this theory to life, our sources give us a fantastic success story. Really illustrates the whole journey.
Let's talk about Ahmed Maki Al-Yusuf. Okay, Ahmed Maki Al-Yusuf. Born 79, graduated technical college in Dammam, electrical engineering degree, lives in Dammam. What's really key about Ahmed is his background before starting his own thing. 9 years working his way up.
9 years is solid experience.
Yeah, from field work to managing technicians, supervising, training, dealing directly with companies, suppliers, all the way up to 2010. So we have this great mix of technical, practical, admin, and field skills.
He definitely wasn't jumping in cold.
Yeah.
So with all that under his belt, what was his big idea? What did he launch?
He launched the Thermal Treatment Center. It specialized in thermal treatment services for high-pressure pipes, gas, petroleum, petrochemicals. Pretty specialized stuff.
Okay, niche market.
Very. And his services were diverse. Direct contracts, renting out equipment, sales, maintenance. He even aimed to expand into radiology and metals testing later.
Ambitious. What drove him?
The source says it was really that drive for independence and ambition for a better future. That classic entrepreneurial spark.
But no journey smooth, right? Even with his experience, what challenges did Ahmed face?
Oh, definitely faced challenges. Big ones. First, just being a new name in a very established market, that's tough.
Competing with the old guard.
Exactly. Strong competitors with decades of experience, big reputations, huge market share, plus dealing with existing agencies that represented the manufacturers he needed equipment from.
Accessing supplies.
Right. And then the practical stuff. Finding a suitable location, and always that worry about rent going up.
Those sound like really significant hurdles. How did he tackle them? What were his strategies?
He was very proactive. He went directly to manufacturers, visited them to secure equipment agencies himself, cut out the middleman where possible.
Direct action. Smart.
But here's what really stood out. His focus on customer satisfaction. He provided exceptional technical service, really focused on the product quality, and he did things like offer discounts he wasn't asked for, or do free minor repairs, throw in free technical accessories, little things that build massive loyalty.
Yes, and the extra mile.
Absolutely. That exceptional service, even in a technical field, was his key differentiator. It turned those challenges into opportunities, built incredible trust. And yes, he also managed to get the funding he needed for equipment. That was crucial, too.
That focus on the customer is such a powerful lesson. And you mentioned funding his story really highlights the support systems out there, doesn't it?
It really does. His search for funding led him to the Riyadh Institute for Entrepreneurship in Dammam, and crucially, they're supported by the Social Development Bank, the SDB.
Ah, the SDB connection.
Exactly. That was pivotal. He secured 300,000 Saudi riyals from SDB. That, plus his own savings, became the core capital for his project's infrastructure. It just shows how vital institutions like SDB can be as supporters, as lifelines for
A
entrepreneurs.
huge enabler.
Ah.
Ahmed's journey is just packed with wisdom. What were his key pieces of advice for you listening right now, thinking about this path?
His advice is incredibly direct and powerful. First, he stresses your desire for success has to be stronger than your fear of failure. You've got to want it more.
Mindset is everything.
Absolutely. He also hammers home the need to build on solid foundations. That means preparing a detailed written project study. Technical, financial, strategic, everything crystal clear on paper.
The business plan. Can't skip it.
Cannot skip it. And he makes a fascinating point. He says funding isn't the huge obstacle it maybe once was because of support from places like SDB. So the main requirement now, he argues, show you're serious. Show it with that written business plan.
That's really interesting. The plan is the proof of seriousness, maybe more than the initial cash itself.
That's how he frames it. He advises every young, ambitious person going into self-employment. Get guidance, get a business plan, get a strategy, use resources like SDB.
Seek help. Plan meticulously.
Yes. And he issues a pretty stark warning, too. He says, look, even with talent, a feasible idea, determination, ambition, projects can still fail.
Why? What causes failure even then?
Often, he says, it's lack of experience, not enough training, or maybe not having the right partner or supervisor, someone to guide you. And the consequences aren't just financial loss, it's psychological loss, even a loss for the nation. It's a really holistic view of failure's impact.
Wow. That's a sobering but important perspective. Okay, we have covered so much ground in this deep dive, from the different types of refrigeration and AC businesses, their legal structures, navigating those crucial ethical and professional standards. We traced an idea's journey, conception to evaluation, and got seriously inspired by Ahmed Al-Yusuf's story.
Yeah.
Resilience, strategic planning, it's all there.
Yeah, and if we connect it all, Ahmed's story alongside that detailed training unit really drives home the point. Entrepreneurship in specialized fields like this, it needs more than just the tech skills. It demands that meticulous planning, sticking to the rules, acting ethically, and, importantly, having the courage to find and use the support systems available, like the Social Development Bank.
Absolutely. So what does this all mean for you? Maybe Ahmed's journey highlights this best. Perhaps the biggest hurdle you face isn't the market or even the money. Maybe it's just taking that first brave step, the step to meticulously plan and fully commit to your vision. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What's that one thing you're holding back on right now that could actually be your next big idea?